Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all. Today we will continue the remaining subtopics from the chapter Devotional Paths to the Divine. But before starting the chapter, we will revise the subtopics which we studied in the previous class. The subtopics are Islam and Sufism, Hospice. Let's come on the first subtopic. The first subtopic is Islam and Sufism. The saints had much in common with the Sufis, so much so that it is believed that they adopted many ideas of each other. Understand? Sufis were Muslim mystics. Mystics means propagator, we can say. They rejected outward religiosity and emphasized love and devotion to God and compassion towards all fellow human beings. Compassion means kindness towards all fellow human beings. And you know that Islam propagated strict monotheism, believe in strict monotheism or submission to one God, believe in one God. Understand? It also rejected idol worship, and we know that rituals of worship in they also rejected in Islam. It is rejected idol worship, understand, and rituals. And you know that Muslim believe in collective prayer. Understand? Collective prayers. And the second subtopic is hospice. What do you understand by the term hospice? Hospice means house of rest for travelers, especially one kept by a religious order. Understand? So we know that the Sufis masters held their assemblies in their khanqahs or hospices. Understand? So here religious matters were discussed in hospice, which we also say khanqahs. So I hope that you are understanding. Afterward we will discuss the subtopics from the chapter. So enjoy the chapter. Dear students, let's start the chapter with the first subtopic. The first subtopic is a closer look Kabir. Kabir, who probably lived in the 15th to 16th centuries, was one of the most influential saints, and he was brought up in a family of Muslim julahas or weavers settled in or near the city of Banaras, which we today say Varanasi. Understand? We get to know of his ideas from a vast, huge, big collection of verses called Sakhis and Pads, said to have been composed by him and sung by wandering bhajan singers. Understand? Some of these were also later collected and preserved in the Guru Granth Sahib, Panch Vani and Bijak. Understand? Dear students, you know that his teachings openly ridiculed, criticized all forms of external worship of both Brahminical Hinduism and Islam. Understand? Islam. And the language of his poetry was a form of spoken Hindi language widely understood by ordinary common people. Understand? He also used cryptic language. Cryptic means the word which has different meaning. Understand? Mysterious meaning, which we say. So he also sometimes used cryptic language, which is difficult to follow. The student, you know that Kabir believed in a formless supreme God and preached that the only path to salvation was through bhakti or devotion. Understand? Only by devotion we can get the salvation according to Kabir. The next subtopic is a closer look Baba Guru Nanak. We know more about Baba Guru Nanak from 1469 to 1539 than about Kabir. Baba Guru Nanak born in Talwandi, Nanakana Sahib in Pakistan. Today the place is in Pakistan. He travelled widely before establishing a center at Kartarpur, Dera Baba Nanak on the river Ravi. Understand? A regular worship that consisted of the singing of his own hymns, bhajan, was established here for his followers. Whatever bhajans that were composed by him, that bhajans were used for regular worship. Singing of his own hymns was established there for his followers. Where? At Dera Baba Nanak on the river Ravi. Understand? In Kartarpur. Irrespective of their former creed, caste or gender, his followers ate together in the common kitchen langar. In the common kitchen langar, everyone ate together irrespective of their caste, creed and gender. Understand? The sacred space, the holy space thus created by Guru Nanak was known as Dharma Sal. It is known as also Guru Dwara. The holy space, the sacred space created by Baba Guru Nanak was known as Dharmsal. Understand? And today we also know it as a Gurudwara. Before his death in 1539, Baba Guru Nanak appointed one of his followers as his next successor, and his name was Lehna, but he came to be known as a Guru Angad. He became prevalent by the name of Guru Angad, and it was also believed that he was the part of Baba Guru Nanak himself. Guru Angad compiled the compositions of Baba Guru Nanak. Whatever the compositions were of Baba Guru Nanak, Guru Angad compiled, mingled, to which he added his own in a new script known as a Gurumukhi. Understand? So Gurumukhi new script used by whom? Guru Angad. The three successors of Guru Angad also wrote under the name of Nanak, and all of their composition were compiled by Guru Arjan. Guru Arjan was the fifth Guru of Sikhs. Understand? In 1604, all the compositions were compiled by Guru Arjan in 1604, and to this compilation were added the writing of other figures, and others figures creations also included, like Sheikh Farid, Sant Kabir, Bhagat Namdev, Guru Tegh Bahadur. Understand? And in 1706 this compilation was authenticated by his son and successor. Whose son? Guru Arjan's son. And in 1706 this compilation was approved, authenticated by his son and successor Guru Gobind Singh. It is now known as Guru Granth Sahib. Today we know it as Guru Granth Sahib, the holy scripture of the Sikhs. Understand? The number of Baba Guru Nanak's followers increased through in the 16th century. Under his successors, we know that by the beginning of the 17th century, the town of Ramdaspur, Amritsar, had developed around the central Gurudwara called Harmandir Sahib. Understand? Golden Temple. It was virtually self-growing, and modern historians refer to the early 17th century Sikh community as a state within the state. We know that the Mughal Emperor Jahangir looked upon them as a potential threat, and he ordered the execution of Guru Arjan. And Guru Arjan was executed by Jahangir in 1606 because he was fearing that he would be dangerous, understand, for the Mughals. The Sikh movement began to get politicized in the 17th century, a development which culminated in the instruction of the Khalsa by Guru Gobind Singh. The Khalsa, the development of the Khalsa institution elevated in 1699 by Guru Gobind Singh, and the community of Sikhs called the Khalsa Panth, understand, became the political entity. Baba Guru Nanak had a very big impact on this development. From the very beginning, he emphasized the importance of the worship of one God. He believed in one God, and he forced that caste, creed, or gender was irrelevant for attaining liberation. There is no need of caste, gender, and creed. Understand? Everyone is equal in his eye, in the eyes of God. His idea of liberation was not that which we think. He also used the terms Naam, Dan, and Isnan. Understand? For the essence of his teaching. What is the actual mean? That the actual mean is Naam means what? Naam, you get that Naam, Dan, and Isnan. The actual meaning we get is here: right worship, Naam, right worship, welfare of others, Dan, and Snan. Snan means purity of conduct, understand? And his teachings are now remembered as Naam, Japna, Kirt Karna, and Vand Chakna, which also underline the importance of right belief and worship. Second is honest living and helping others, understand? Thus we know that Baba Guru Nanak idea of equality had a social and political implications, understand? So he used Naam, Japna, Kirt Karna, and Vanda Chakna. It means that Naam means here right worship, and Dan means welfare, and Snan means here he used purity of conduct, understand? So I hope that you are understanding all this. And there is given in the box at the last of the chapter, at the end of the chapter, Martin Luther and the Reformation. Understand? We know that Martin Luther 1483 to 1546, Martin Luther felt that several practices in the Roman Catholic Church went against the teachings of the Bible. So he encouraged the use of the language of ordinary people rather than Latin. So he translated the Bible into German. Understand? So I hope that you have understood all this clearly. Thanks for watching the video.